So I'm gonna go ahead and get dinner started. It's about 4:30. Brett should be home from work. Who knows when? You know what I mean? Who knows? But this is one of his favorite meals, and it is seriously so easy, and I'm going to share it with you because if you are in a rush to get dinner done or you just don't feel like cooking, this is a very easy filling dinner. It is white chicken enchiladas. I know I've said it before. A lot of these recipes you will find on my Pinterest under dinner recipes, and this is one of them. So if I remember, I will link it down below. All you need is chicken, flour tortillas, sour cream, a little can of green chilies, and butter, flour, shredded cheese. That is it. Did I say chicken? And chicken, obviously chicken. I already have the chicken in a pot of boiling water. That's how I like to cook our chicken. You just literally boil water. I cut all of the extra like fatty part off of it, and then I throw it in a pot of boiling water. So that is what is happening right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the sauce for it, which is very, very simple. So we are going to do 3 tablespoons of butter. You know how bad I need new, like, what are these called? Pots? I need new pots so bad. Oh, so I know you guys like Target is like the place to get cute stuff, but I'm telling you, Menards has, you will be surprised with how much cool stuff you can find at Menards. It is also right down the road from us, which makes it very, very nice too. So they have those clear plastic containers that I like to use in the fridge and the pantry. So I know Home Goods has them. A lot of other places have them too, but Menards actually has them too, probably for the same price. And another thing that I just found at Menards is these 4 plastic bowls, and this was $5.99. And they also have a little rubber bottom to them as well, so they're not gonna like scoot around. And it comes with different sizes, and they like stack. And I bought 2 of them, one to give as a gift. I'm like, this is perfect. So those I found at Menards, and I'm all for gray and white, as you know. So I have this butter melting. It's pretty much melted. The chicken I think is almost done too, but I'm gonna go ahead and get the flour in here. So it's 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of flour. So 1, 2, 3. So we are going to whisk this. This always makes like a weird consistency, and I like don't like it, but this is what makes the sauce really thick. So I'm gonna turn this on a low heat. Okay, I cannot find the little can of green chilies. I went to Walmart today to get it, and I also got my kids' stocking stuffers.
I hate this!
Your homework. I literally have gifts like all, like in every, can you hear something banging in the basement? I have stuff literally all over my closet, under my bed. But I went to the store today to get candy for my kids' stockings and forgot that I put, oh my gosh, okay. Forgot that I put the can of green chilies in that, phew. I forgot that I put the can of green chilies in that same bag. I just put this in my stocking. All right, so this is that weird consistency. So I'm gonna let this cook for just a little bit longer. There's really no stirring it, you just kind of like break it up. And so if you do not know, if you need to shred chicken quickly, put it in your mixer. Yes, your mixer. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my chicken in here, and then I use this paddle attachment and it will shred the chicken. So I'm gonna pull this chicken out. I just let it drip a little bit. I also do not have it seasoned or anything yet. So let's pop this in the mixer. All right, so I hold it down and turn it on because sometimes it likes to pop up like that, but I do it on the lowest speed because you don't want it to be too shredded because then it's like too fine, you know what I mean? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 cups of chicken broth. So what I like to do is I will slowly add a little bit and then stir it. That way it creates a thicker paste. You kind of see that paste, but if you dump it all in at one time, it will not be, if you dump the 2 cups in at one time versus doing it slowly, you'll get like clumps in there. You'll get like little pockets of powder, or flour, not powder. All right, I'm gonna add the last cup and kind of let this cook a little bit and thicken. All right, so the chicken is shredded. There are some like bigger chunks in there, but that is what you want. You don't want it too bad. It literally took 30 seconds, not even. So I am gonna go ahead. I need to do something with all of this. Maybe after Christmas. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use onion powder, garlic powder. That should be about it. I'm just gonna mix it, and then I'll probably do a little bit of salt as well. All right, so this is boiling, and it is a lot thicker, so I'm gonna shut this off. I also preheated the oven to 350. So then you are going to add 1 cup of sour cream. Let that mix in. And then you're going to add 1 of these little 4.5 ounce cans of chopped green chilies. They have fire roasted, they have mild, they have spicy, you know, all different kinds, depending on how spicy you like it. We do not like it very spicy, so I just get the mild, and it's not bad at all. So I add the whole can, and this is what gives it the good flavor. I'm not a fan of like super spicy things, and this is just fine. It's not spicy at all. So you mix that in with the heat off, you stir this together, and then this is the sauce that you pour over your enchiladas. So I have a little assembly line of basically cheese, chicken, and that is all that's going to go in your tortillas. I buy these, the larger 10 count flour tortillas. You can also add anything you want in these. I just do chicken and cheese. That's what the recipe calls for. So I really just do, I think it calls for 8 to 10. I really just do how many it fits in my 9 by 13 baking dish. So all it is a little bit of chicken, and then a little bit of cheese. I really like the triple cheddar. It's a little bit bigger. And then I fold the bottom up, wrap it around, and then that is it, and then it won't fall out the bottom. So then I just put it, I kind of will squeeze these together as I go through, but that is all. I have the oven on, I'm going to make s'mores magic bars. I've never made these before, so this will be interesting. Okay, this calls for 9 sheets of graham crackers, which I don't quite know what sheets is. I would assume just a single graham cracker. At first I thought it was literally like the sheet, like the package, how it comes in 3 packages. I'm like, there's no way it takes 9 of those. So I think it's the individual sheets of graham crackers. So I think that's a little bit more than you're supposed to, but hopefully it turns out. 9 sheets of graham crackers, and then 6 tablespoons of butter. And then 2 tablespoons of sugar. I already left the oven preheated from dinner, so I'm going to take this. Alright, I gotta read the instructions as I go because I've never made this before. So you're going to press it into the bottom of the pan. Alright, then you're going to mix together in a different bowl the flour, 1 1/4 cup of flour, quarter teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon of baking powder, and set it aside. So that's what I have in my new mixing bowl. Look at me go. I'm going to use that same bowl that I had the graham crackers in. And then you're going to beat together 3/4 of a cup of sugar and 1/2 cup of butter. Then you are going to add vanilla extract, which I'm out of. I totally forgot to grab that today, and 1 egg. So I'm gonna do like half. And the rest of it. So this says the easiest way to do it is with your hands, like to take little amounts and then kind of like smush them, like blob them all over, and then smush it with your hands. So I think it's easier with a spoon than your hands. So next it calls for 1 bag of mini marshmallows, and of course they were out at the store, so this is going to be a pain. I'm going to try cutting that. So there is like this much, there's like this much of a can left. So I don't really know what to do with it. We're gonna add a little bit more because that just sounds really good on top, you know? All right, this is gonna go in for, I'm gonna do 20 minutes. Just so that I can check on it because I don't want it to be overly done. So these enchiladas are done too. I'm sure you know this by now too, but there is a broil function on your oven, and that is how you get like the bubbled brown cheese, like this look on top. Basically, anytime I want anything to be a little bit crunchier or the cheese to be a little bit more melted, I turn the broil. Gosh, that scared me. I turn the broil function on to like 450, I think it is. So that is how you get more of the brown cheese on top. But these are pretty much done. So I'm just waiting for the magic bars to be done. It did call for 1 cup of the mini marshmallows, 1 cup of chocolate chips. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I will link both the recipes down below. If you know me by now, you know that I do kind of wing 90% of my recipes to begin with. Like if I know what goes on top, I just kind of like already wing it, if that makes any sense. Also with these enchiladas, it seems like you're dumping a lot of sauce on top, and the first time I made it with all the sauce and it was so good. And then I made it a second time and I left, like I was dumping it over and I'm like, this seems like a lot of sauce on top. And I left some back in the pan and just tossed it. And Brett was so disappointed because I think what happens is the tortillas soak up some of that sauce. And so there was, like, that's what makes it so good, is all the sauce in it. And so he was so disappointed when I made it for him a couple weeks ago. And he's like, it just doesn't taste as, it doesn't have as much like sauce on it. And I didn't even tell him. I'm like, oh, my bad. So if it seems like a lot of sauce, just dump it all on there. I promise you, some of it will soak in, but that's what makes it good and is like the creaminess of the sauce. All right, guys, it is the next day. It is so crappy out. It is raining, which is kind of weird. In December, it's raining, but it is supposed to get like really, really, really bad out today. I don't know if you can see how gloomy it looks. So I'm getting ready to pick up my kids, but I realized I never ended the video yesterday. I'm a little embarrassed to show you this. So after I took the dessert out of the oven, it started to get a little brown on top, and I'm like, perfect. So I pulled it out. It was probably in the oven for like 20 minutes. I think it said between 22 to 27. Well, I took it out, and then I was doing laundry and helping Dalton with his homework and doing all that stuff. And then by the time I like checked it, it was cooled off and everything, but it was so runny because I should have kept it in the oven. So regardless, the flavor was so good. So if this would have been like actual like bars, that would have been really good, but it literally is like a runny mess, but the flavors are still there and it still tastes really good. I'm gonna show you just because, you know, stuff happens. So this looks so bad, but I promise you, just, I mean, maybe minus that part of it, this was so good. Okay, we're just gonna, so make sure to check those bars when they come out of the oven because they will definitely be very runny. It is time for me to go get my kids from school. Oh, so crappy. Like so crappy out. I'm surprised Brett's not home from work. So I am gonna go ahead and go get them from school. I hope you enjoyed that little cook with me. I almost debated not showing you that dessert or like not even putting it in, but I'm like, you know what? Who cares? Like, there's so many times where I make something and it like either A, doesn't turn out and it tastes horrible, or it doesn't look the way it's supposed to, like the dessert last night, but it still tastes good. Like, even though it doesn't look pretty, it still tastes very, very good. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me yesterday, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.